Hey, what's up, faithful? Welcome to Monday night, another edition of the Stay Faithful podcast. I am Ty Alston, and joining me as always is David McNiner. What's going on, David? How you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing good. It's Monday, start of a new week, right? The
Indeed.
draft is, 25 days away,
Yeah.
right? Or should I say in 25 days it's about starting. That's going to be,
Yeah.
and we have the 11th overall pick, which is kind of rare.
We normally don't pick high.
No.
Happens like every few years, but we normally don't pick high. So we should be in position to get somebody good. Hey, Sin, good to see you. So yeah, but the big talk of the day.
I got ducked, Ty.
You got ducked. Really? Hold on. This
Yeah,
Jeep stuff, y'all.
I was actually in the drive-through. It's a Jeep thing, folks. Just so you know,
Yeah.
don't get the wrong impression. But so I was in the drive-through for lunch, and this lady walks up to me and says, "Hi." I'm like, "Hi." She reaches in my window with this duck, says, "Here you go. You've been ducked." I was like, huh? This is a thing? I've seen people with ducks. These like rubber ducks on their dashboard. I see that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know it was a thing where you could actually buy ducks. Put a card that says you got ducked on it, and hand them out. So I actually ordered me a bunch. They show up tomorrow.
This is the first time I've heard of anyone being handed one, though. It's normally like you leave it on someone's windshield or on the door handle or something.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come back to their vehicle, that's when they find out. So this is a new.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm gonna have like I said, I bought a 30-pack, so I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get them all set up, just throw them on my dashboard. Why not? That's what all kinds of people do. And then I'm gonna be hitting people.
That's what you got to do. You got to pay it forward. Start ducking people back.
That's right.
That's the way to do it. Right.
Speaking of getting ducked, well, what is John Lynch doing at the owners meetings here? Or
he's there every year. That's where owners, GMs, coaches get together, discuss rules. John Lynch is on the competition committee, so he's there for that reason. So he has an official capacity, there.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I heard they're thinking about banning the tush push.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, I mean, if you look around the league, how many teams actually utilize this play?
It's only one.
A couple have rarely used it. Here and there.
Yeah.
But there's a team that is 3 yards off the ball. They'll freaking go for it because they know they can get it. And it's like,
yep.
Come on, right? And it's figure out how to stop it. How do you figure out how to stop a center going in under a guy? Then you have the guards coming in pushing. You have the quarterback behind him with two running backs. Everyone, how can you
pushing him? Yeah.
I mean, do your defensive linemen just get on the ground and grab everyone's legs so the guy above them can? I mean, what? It's like it's a hard thing to stop. It's been done. We've actually stopped the tush push. It's been done.
It's been done. A couple of teams have done it. Remember in that famous playoff game, Tampa Bay did it. It is a player safety thing because at some point, when you got guys just diving head first at each other, it's not only the concussion thing, but you got necks involved and things of that nature. Like someone can get seriously injured because of it. And, you could get seriously injured on any play in NFL. But we're talking about a play where guys are literally leading head first, crown of the helmet, right? Something seriously bad can happen there. So I see why it's a concern. But, I'm with you.
It's not just because these guys could pull it off, and all the other owners are going no fair. That's not what's going on here, folks.
Gotcha.
But, Saquon Barkley, he is really good at, getting a hold of Jalen Hurts back end and just going for him. It's like a little too good at it.
Yep. Hey, Tommy, what's going on? Yeah, I'm with you saying we don't want to see any serious injuries, and anything the league is going to do to prevent that, they will. Even though they're talking about expanding to an 18th game now. This is where the league, just makes me scratch my head sometimes because it's all about player safety, right? Player safety, and we can't have this play, and we can't do this, and we need new kickoff rules, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, let's play another game.
Well, let's add a game.
Let's add a game to the schedule, which is more wear and tear on the players' bodies, right?
That's true. It really is.
And then, let's modify the kickoff where if they kick it out of bounds, it's not in the end zone, we'll move the ball up to the 35, forcing teams to have more kickoffs, which the league said, the whole concussion thing was because of the kickoffs, kick returns, I should say. So which one you want to do, league? Like, make up your mind here. Oh.
Hey, we lost several kickers to, kick returns.
Yeah.
And that's, our special team coverage unit was poor. All right,
that was just poor coverage on our part.
But at this point, it's like, all right, guys, I can see you wanting to ban the tush push because of player safety. Just strictly because of player safety, not because only one team does it really a lot and the rest of the league just doesn't. It's kind of just one of those things.
Yeah.
But, we'll see what ends up happening there, But the new kickoff rule, let's move it up even more just because we want it boomed out of the back of the end zone. It's like, so last year we saw special teams coordinators figuring out how to bend the rules in their favor. Yeah. Like when they were confident in their coverage unit, they'd kick it just a little short so the guy would have to run it back. Yeah. Right?
Which is the strategy.
And they would catch them and they wouldn't get the ball at what? The 30? Yeah. 35? They wouldn't get the ball up there. They get the ball back at like the 17 or whatever.
Right.
And I mean, punt returns, it hasn't changed at all.
No,
punt returns are punt returns.
It's just a kickoff rule.
Yes, and that's what's going to happen. They're if they ban the tush push, they'll find something else.
Oh yeah,
and I mean it's not like Jalen Hurts can't do a quarterback sneak. Let's be honest, he can't.
Yeah, exactly.
And he'd probably be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
It's
just the idea of getting in that helmet to helmet scrum that they do, which has bad juju written all over it,
It really does.
Yeah. To the kickoff thing though, what's just ironic? Ironic, and it shows you how bad he was. The strategy behind the new kickoff really was, which a lot of teams figure out, was to hang the ball high, kick the ball so it has some hang time, come down right before the one. That gives guys the ability to mark the ball, see it being caught, then catch off, and then they take off, right? So it should be advantage kicking team with that, right? So you see when it's caught, you can catch, you can take off and try to pin them as short as possible. And that was Brian Schneider's whole MO. Even before this new kickoff rule, way back when he was with Seattle, that's the strategy he kind of implemented. But with us, he never taught it right. He never coached it right. It never came to fruition. The coverage unit was just always bad. And you think like we should have been the masters at it. We should have been great with him leading the way, but it just never happened. Mm-mm. So that's like another reason why he needed to go. Like, dude, you can't even teach like your core principles, which should be helping us. But yeah, it's just bad.
Oh yeah, now we got a new guy, and he's like, I'm gonna need some personnel. Mm-hmm. So we've been, assigning guys that are really good at special teams, good depth pieces too. While they're at it here, let's be honest. Guys that can tackle and guys that are, know what angle to take and stuff like that. Like last year, our special teams unit. It was like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah,
like, the angle you just took is about 5 yards off from where the runner's going to be.
Yeah. How about some lane integrity, right? Like maintain your position. Don't break it. Don't break outside contain and things of that nature. Like, if your job is to guard L1 and go down on L1, stick there. Don't freelance it. It's the little things. But yeah, I'm excited for the new coordinator. I think he will bring some discipline and structure and some value to the special teams core. They went out, like you mentioned, drafted some free agents, some guys who were like our core special teamers. I think that's the key. A lot of them are special teamers first and like backups and reserves second. So that should help the coverage unit and everything first and foremost. And we should see dramatic improvement. I really think so.
I really hope so. It's like at this point in time, our offense, a lot of people can say, oh, your offense is taking a step back. Look at all those guys you lost. Okay. All those guys we lost didn't do a whole lot in the first place. Okay. Our special teams was dang near, I think if we weren't 32nd, we deserved to be.
Oh, yeah. We're just a bottom of the league because
I think we were, though.
Yeah, no matter what position, we were near the bottom. Clearly.
Our defense wasn't like a lot of folks were dogging our defense last year, and it's like they're not doing terrible. They're not allowing 40 points a game.
No.
Our offense could be doing better in the red zone. That was a problem, right? That was a problem. But, our defense wasn't necessarily terrible, right?
That's hilarious.
We were 33rd. That's like Jake Brendel ranked somewhere from 39 to 42
which is crazy.
Out of the centers in the NFL. And it's like, there's only 32 teams.
That means he was worse than the backups. That's what that means. You were worse than some backups that came in. My goodness.
Oh, man.
Oh, I have to plug this in.
If you're worse than other teams' backups, if you have I don't know if every backup in the league that came in and had to play actually, scooted in front of them or not. Kind of seems that way, though.
Yeah, it did. Ooh, I'm missing the cord. All right. Yeah. Sin asks, why do you think the red zone offense was such a problem? Because we didn't have big dudes on the offensive line. For me, it just came down to execution. If you go back and look, we had more than enough opportunities to put the ball in the end zone when we got into the red zone. We just failed to cash in on them. And that started since week 1. Like the Jets game. You go back, watch that game. Like, I think we got into the end zone, the red zone, There were 5 or 6 times we got down there and wound up settling for field goals. Like, that's unacceptable. It was terrible. And that just carried on throughout the season. But if you go back and watch plays, you'll see guys open. You'll see running lanes open, but the back goes the wrong way. Guys are open and a pass is errant, or some guys don't get open. It's just execution, just bad hits and misses all around. And it's not even a red zone. I extended it all the way back to like the 30. From the 30-yard line in, our execution just broke. It was bad, which led to our kickers kicking more field goals than they've ever had in a season for us.
Mm-hmm. And then our kicker rushing his way back from injury because he's maybe worried about losing his job. And then all of a sudden, like, his confidence got lost. He didn't lose his job, but his confidence got lost.
Yeah.
It was one of those situations where I'm watching the game time and I see Moody kick it, barely missed to the left. I'm like, that's not bad. But and then I said it before it happened. I said, all right, next kick, he's gonna miss it to the right.
Because he overcompensates.
And sure enough, he did. He overcompensated. He missed it. I'm like, it's like short-term memory loss, buddy. Forget the last kick. It's about the kick in front of you. And I think that had a lot to do with what was going on with Moody.
Yeah.
And our new special teams coach, what do you think he's going to tell Moody? Like, bro, worry about the kick in front of you. Don't even think about the last one.
Yeah. Don't think about the last one. Just think about this one.
Exactly. Yeah. Honestly, I think Moody definitely had a bad year. And and a lot of people are like, oh, we should just cut him now. Like he was the whole problem. He really wasn't. There was a lot more problems than just our kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For him, it was a tale of 2 seasons. It was pre-injury and then post-injury. Pre-injury, he was awesome, right? Missed 1 kick, drilling everything. Remember, he did make special teams player of the week for week 1 when he made 6 field goals. People forget about that. Then it was post-injury where he came back, and he shouldn't have come back because I was speaking to Larry Kruger. Larry said he asked him flat out, hey, how you doing? And he said, my ankle still hurts. My foot still hurts. Like, he was still injured even when he came back. Now, to have an injury to the thing that you're using is an issue, right? It's like Brock having, injuring his throwing arm and still trying to play through it. It's not going to work out too well. For him, it was his right leg, his ankle. He still tried to kick with it. Things didn't work out too well. So we got to see how he bounces back. And I know I don't want to go into the offseason without a kicker, period. Like, let's have a kicker on the team, and then let's bring in some other kickers and let them compete. I never want to just have a hole at a position, even if it's just a kicker. Like, I need a body there to at least know I got one, and then let's bring in some others. So I think that's the strategy they'll use.
And I'm so down with that, and they did talk to the university or like Miami, the U. They talked to that kicker. Yeah. Right. But they talk to so many guys that they don't draft. It's not funny.
Yeah.
It's
doing their homework. You can't draft everybody, but you got to do your homework and talk to these guys because if they're there, then you could draft them.
Like last year, I'm trying to find now. Shout out to Steph. I'm trying to find the list from last year. I should have freaking just screenshotted it because then it would be like in this archive I got going on. I'm
pretty sure she has it backed up somewhere. If you reach out,
I'm sure she does. I should probably just hit her up on like X or something.
Yeah.
But I know we talked to Mustafa. We talked to Cowing. We talked to Evan Anderson, but he wasn't drafted. He's a UDFA, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think now. I thought we had a meeting with Pooney at like the combine or something, or maybe it's pro day.
We did talk to him at some point.
We did.
I just don't remember
we
when.
did have a meeting with him at some point. But the rest of the guys, I mean, it's like I'm sitting there, I'm looking through stuff, just trying to find anything. It's like I cannot find these guys on. So pretty much, all because they talked to him and they interviewed the prospect does not mean that they're going to be high on them or drafting them anytime soon.
Yeah.
And again, you look at the list, they've talked to a lot of prospects.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of guys, and most of them are going to be there at 11. Pretty much, there's only going to be 10 prospects not there at 11.
Right.
Right.
Right. We're not picking 31st this year. We're picking 11th. So it's going to be a lot of guys there. I'm just hoping they stay pat. Like I know a lot of people say, oh, you can trade down, get more picks, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like this is an opportunity to get one of these top guys of the draft.
Mm-hmm.
One of these guys who can potentially start day one. Like we're not in this position often, only when tragedy strikes. Well, we don't want to be in this position again. So let's get one of those guys now and then keep the draft rolling from there. So
I actually have this subject, I'm going to be bringing them up with the crew on Wednesday. All right.
Mm-hmm.
But so like, these rumors that fly around about these prospects. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that I actually have a 49er Zippo someone gave me today.
Nice.
And I don't smoke. So it's like, maybe if I go camping, I'll use it as a lighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or when I should say, not
right.
maybe, definitely when. But so these rumors, that start about these prospects, all of a sudden it hurts them. This guy falls like this thing on Walter Nolan being taken off people's boards. Okay. Where did this rumor start? Like I have done extensive. I've probably spent 2 hours trying to find wherever this rumor specifically about Walter Nolan has started.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. So I have this theory going. It's kind of a conspiracy theory. I'll bust out my tinfoil hat. Shout out to Bryant. I think it was started by a team that wants him to fall.
Yeah.
And it's possible, right? I would love to find, just find out where those rumors start. But it's possible that they, a team picking later in the first round just started this rumor because they want to make sure the guy falls to them, But either way, it's one of those, if you can't substantiate the rumor, then why even take them off your board? They're NFL teams.
Yeah.
What's up,
I'll
Darn? Just assume the worst.
Oh, do what Levi. The man says. That's Levi. Smash Levi. That like button.
Yep. That's one of the crew right there.
Yep. My son says that's dirty pool. Yeah. And it happens every year. All of a sudden you hear things come out. Oh, this guy had this and this guy did that. And there's some test where he didn't test well. And then it's bull crap like that. And you're like, where'd this come from? For a whole month, he was high and he was surefire. And you got to take this guy high. And all of a sudden, don't take him. Because of this weird thing, and his stock suddenly drops.
Yeah, that video of him chasing a dog when he was 8 doesn't count.
Yeah,
But like, I mean, what was it? Jamal Adams, the guy the Eagles ended up drafting, right? He got in that car wreck racing incident, right? He got in that. And that's how he fell that far, because he was supposed to be one of the top, 6 players picked, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he fell that far. But that was also his own doing.
That was his own doing, though, and that was like an off the field issue. So that you understand.
Yes.
But then there's
That
little
100%.
things. Yeah.
There's incidents like that you fully understand that. There you go. But then
there's like the Walter Nolan thing, and you're like, huh? What?
That's exactly it. I've done so much research just trying to find, like, where'd this start? Who said it?
Yeah.
And it's like, nothing.
Exactly.
Is there actually any truth behind it at this point? Is what I'm looking, how I'm looking at it,
Mm-hmm.
And then like Mike Green, they said something about legal issues. I'm like,
yeah.
How long ago was that?
I know. Since when? Like, how does all this stuff pop up?
Yeah, was this a while back? Like, like what do you get? Because I've seen the reports, but now that's another thing too. And I have, Cynthia, I've actually watched this film, and it does kind of seem like, I can't say he's a high motor guy,
right?
Because it seems like if he'll like start pass rushing, but then it's kind of like, all right, well, you're just kind of standing there with your hands on the offensive lineman.
You kind of get stoned. Yeah.
I don't know if it was that or if he just stopped trying. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, if he comes to us, Chris Kaceric's going to be in his ear. You better get going.
GTFO.
That's right.
GTFO. Yeah, Sensei. Yeah, we don't need that. We darn sure don't. We got rid of guys because of that.
I mean, I would love to see us take one of the top interior defensive linemen in the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much every mock draft I've seen has the Jags taking him at 5. I don't think that's a foregone conclusion of them taking Mason Graham.
Listen, mocks are mocks.
Nothing is.
They aren't real.
Nothing is.
So you never know how this thing is going to fall, right? You just
That's exactly it.
Weird and things a lot of mocks, happened.
I mean, you've seen all the mocks with us taking a corner at 11. It's like,
I've seen that.
Have you ever known Kyle or John to take a defensive back in the first 2 rounds other than Renardo Green?
Exactly.
No.
Last year was the first time. It's not a position of need. Think about that. Just add some flat out common sense logic to it. It's not even a position that we need to grab with the first pick.
No, it's not.
Why would that happen?
I mean, we signed Trey Brown in free agency, and he's actually decent. He's not bad.
Yeah.
We have Lenore and we have Renardo Green.
So those are 2 starters. Boom. You got 2 starters, and a possible.
We haven't seen a lot of Darrell Luter Jr. on the field.
No, we know he's there.
He's going to bring.
Exactly.
And let's just try to teach him to stay forward on special teams. Don't get back towards the ball, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen to those fire calls. Yeah. Listen to those fire calls. Make sure the gunner is calling out those fire calls, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Cynthia, that's honestly what I'm thinking. I mean, look at what the Lynch and Shanahan had done, right? That Solomon Thomas didn't work out. Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, all their first round picks, right?
Yep.
Last year we went wide receiver, but we didn't have one for a few years because we traded up to get that one guy.
We didn't have a wide receiver. What are you talking about? We got wide receivers.
Well, I'm saying I'm saying like 2023, 2022, we didn't have first picks. We didn't have
a first round pick. Oh yeah.
That's exactly. So those don't. But then again, with our first pick in 2022, who'd we take? Drake Jackson, right? Another defensive lineman. There's a bit of history. There's a bit of history going on there.
John Lynch's philosophy is you build up the trenches first, the D line first. That's why we've always done that. And picks, we just haven't hit on those picks. For whatever reason, we just haven't hit on them. Whether it's injury or pre-injury or guy playing out of position, or he's just, not cutting it on this level. He's more of a backup, Solomon Thomas, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. Like, this whole thing is a crapshoot. You just never know.
Hey, like Mason Graham, he's from Michigan, and a lot of people are saying he's the best defensive tackle in the draft.
Yeah.
Now let's remember, he had a running mate.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best defensive tackle in the draft for a reason. He had a guy next to him that was helping eat blockers to free him up.
Yeah. There's a reason when he's catching double teams and you got one-on-ones.
That Charles Grant guy. Now, I know some folks aren't necessarily high on him, but I've watched film on him, and if they pick him at 11, I would have no problem with it. Okay. He didn't have booming numbers, no.
Yeah.
But he's athletic. He eats blockers. He sheds blockers. He gets pressure on the quarterback from the interior, which is something we've drastically needed.
Which is what we need. Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it if they picked him at 11.
No.
I wouldn't.
No.
There are some folks that aren't necessarily high on him, but he's the reason Mason Graham is so good. All right. Yes, Mason Graham does have talent. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But if he didn't have that guy right next to him,
his running mate,
be in the position he's in? Probably not.
I'm with you.
So, and you never know. Mason Graham could fall to us. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know. You never know. Some teams move up. Some teams just do things you don't expect. Next thing you know, a guy falls.
The mock draft simulator timed out. It updates every Saturday night, and I got to remember it does that, right? But it did it as we were getting close to the end of the end of one, and it freaking reset. It did all the picks, all 7 rounds, all whatever. I went back to the first round and I looked, and talk about chaos and mayhem in the top 10. Mike Green was picked, freaking Jackson Dart was picked.
What up, Jess?
There was all kinds of chaos and mayhem going on, and that's how draft day actually is, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And it was
it's true.
It was the Raiders that picked Jackson Dart.
They need a quarterback.
Hey, I've watched
film really
on
the
him
guy
too for Now, don't ask me why, because I honestly, Brock Purdy's not going anywhere. But I watched film on Jackson Dart, and it's he's not bad. No. He's gonna need some time to get acclimated to NFL speed.
Of course.
And his big thing is reading a defense. But a year or two from now, he's gonna be a good QB. Not right off the bat though. He's gonna need some playing time. He's going to need some love. A lot of quarterbacks that come in the league do. A lot of them ain't Brock Purdy, come in week 13 and look like he's been there for years. There's not many quarterbacks that can do that. That's what makes Brock special. But yeah. And again, the market is 50 to 55 million a season, folks. So don't be expecting the reports that he's going to sign. He's looking for 68. Dude, yeah, you definitely got a lot of clicks with that one, bud.
It's that time of season. Well, Johnny Lynch was at the NFL owner meetings, and some reporters got to talk to him, and they asked him about Brock. And he said, that everyone should be optimistic that a deal would get done. They want Brock here, and Brock wants to be here. Whenever you got two sides feeling mutual about each other, a deal gets done. It's not really anything no one doesn't know. We all know that they're talking. We all know that a deal will get done. It's just a matter of when. So, it's good to hear that they're talking, though, I guess, from the horse's mouth. But we already knew that. So, yeah, it is what it is.
I'd like to see him pull like a Tom Brady, though. I'll take that $50 million. Just so you can spend that extra 5 or 8 or whatever you were going to spend on me on another player. So
Yeah.
we got some depth.
He is getting paid, Sin. He's on payroll. It's not like he's a free agent. He's getting paid. It's just a matter of how much.
It's crazy his
Well,
contract.
look, Tom was not the breadwinner in his house, though. So Tom can take a little, exactly. He wasn't the breadwinner. He could have been a stay-at-home dad. He wasn't the breadwinner. So, him leaving $5 million out there, not a problem. Wifey can make that in bunches.
Well, I got a friend down in Texas, and we talk a lot, and he's we always make jokes about how Gisele's paying alimony.
Mm-hmm. Hey, must be nice. Yeah, weird, but yeah, if Brock were to take 50, that'd be great for us because that's money for us to spend elsewhere. That's another, but we'll see.
It would.
We'll see.
I mean, I'm not saying that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but really no, I'm with you though from just a team standpoint. And when you think of, we need to pay a bunch of rookies, and there's still some after draft free agents we could probably sign, and maneuver the roster in a certain way. It makes sense. Every little bit helps. So I agree with you there.
Oh yeah. Hey. So is that tequila or is that water?
It's lemonade.
Oh, lemonade with a little bit of vodka.
My fancy faithful to the bait. No, not drinking. Keeping a sober mind to talk Niners.
That's right.
What else did John Lynch say today? He talked. What the hell else he talked about?
He says the same thing he said before.
I don't know. It's like I didn't really pay attention to it because it's like
did he already reveal anything? Did he? Oh, that's right. He did. He doesn't reveal anything.
No, he doesn't. Everything is kind of vague and out there, and
I honestly like a lot of people hate the approach. I like it.
The off-season approach they've done so far.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to say, losing Drake Greenlaw, I didn't want to see that happen, but
but
that was, out of all the players that exited, I'm gonna say he's the only one I miss.
Yeah, and that was and that was a thing where Dre was a free agent.
That's
that
right.
means he got to choose where he wanted to go, and in the end, he chose to go to Denver. We made him an offer. He said, nah, I want to go to Denver. And that's what he chose. And that was his right to do. So, it wasn't our fault he left. It wasn't like he was under contract and we cut him. He was a free agent. And he chose to go elsewhere.
That's definitely not the case.
Yeah.
Have you seen the reports about Shanahan flying down to his house in Texas to try to keep him?
Yep, it was well documented in the article by his dad. I said they flew down, and I think Lynch confirmed that he did go down. And it shows you how much the 49ers wanted him. Right? That's not something you do where the GM and the head coach flies down to a guy's home to try to convince them to stay. You don't hear about that.
No.
So it shows you how much we want. I know a lot of people were like, oh, I can't believe we just let him go. No, they made a huge effort to try to get him to sign with the 49ers again. Once again, he was a free agent. He has free will. He chose to go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. And then, I've read this in a few different articles. His dad is quoted saying, with the 49ers, you're like Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Go be MJ somewhere,
Yeah, exactly. You're playing next
maybe
to
that's
Fred.
what Dre Greenlaw overall wanted. He wanted to be the guy.
Yeah, be the leader of a defense, right? And we know he's one of our leaders. Us fans, we know how valuable he is, and we never treated him as anything less. He was one of our leaders. He was like, if Fred was LB1, he was LB1A or B, however that saying goes. Like we had 2 linebacker ones. We didn't treat him as, MJ and Scottie Pippen. We had 2 MJs. That's the way it was for us. But I can see, the perspective around the league and blah, 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 how that goes.
Well, and I mean, he hardly ever came off the field, too.
Yeah.
The only time he's off the field is when we're in dime package, which a lot of those times, if I remember right, he's still on the field.
Yeah, there's some plays he stayed out there, but we hardly ever played dime because he's so good. Like better than our, 4th corner. Oh, yeah. You just left him and Fred on the field. We're always in nickel.
That's right.
That's how good it was.
And, now we got to rely on, currently, like I say currently, because there's a day coming up where in free agency where the signings after that day don't count towards the compensation.
Comp picks, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't count in that formula. I don't remember. I've been trying to look up what day it was. Someone told me it was like May 2nd or some. I don't know. Not
sure. Yeah.
But that's after the draft, right? Yeah. So still expect some things to happen here, folks, Yeah. But, D. Winters, though, a guy that really needs to work on not being banged up,
and that's something he can work on. He can hit the weight room, put on more muscle, things of that nature. If you watch him, he flies around with reckless abandon, which you kind of love, but then you also kind of hate it because, like, dude, you're doing a lot of harm to yourself. Let's play a lot of smarter, right? So that's things he can work on, which is good.
Yep.
And you just got to cross your fingers and hope he holds up. He learns how to hold up, and play a lot smarter.
And then, we re-signed Curtis Robinson, although he's coming off a knee injury, so he's coming
off an ACL.
He'll probably be ready. Maybe he'll be ready during camp. Maybe he'll get cleared by then.
Maybe, hopefully, we'll see.
And then it kind of depends on the severity of the injuries. Like Brandon Aiyuk, I'm not counting on seeing him this season, buddy. I'm just not.
Yeah, well, that's 2 different injuries, right? So Curtis Robinson had just a 1 clear ACL tear, and it happened in preseason. So you got the calendar part of it too. Brandon Aiyuk tore everything. Like whatever ligament you could think of in the knee, he tore it all. It all went.
Week 7, wasn't it?
And yes, and then it happened week 7 or 8, week 7, but late into the season.
Yeah.
So one guy can easily, Curtis Robinson, clean ACL tear, got that fixed right away. He can be in training camp, probably not a full go, but revving up to be a full go by the time the season starts. Aiyuk, that thing's going to take a while. Because when you tear everything has to heal and get right. Then you got to start going through rehab and all that good stuff, which nowadays is like right after surgery, you attack rehab. But you have to rev up and do football drills and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't expect him to be cleared to play till week 8 at the earliest. And then he's probably going to put on that practice window list, which is give him another 4 weeks. Then that. So, right? So it's like you said, at that point, we're approaching the end of the season. He may not be back. You don't know.
That's exactly it. And you never know what's going to happen in his rehab. Like the doctor could clear him for football activities. He could have a setback. You never know. I'm not planning on seeing him till 2026, though. That's just what I got in my mind.
Which is a conservative, smart thing to say.
And tomorrow's the day, though, Ty. 22.84 $1.5 million roster bonus.
Yep. Which John Lynch spoke about Brandon Aiyuk as well. I move the camera so I can plug it in. And all right. He basically said, with his injury and the cap number and all that stuff, he doesn't see him going anywhere. He thinks a lot of the talk was just spillover from last season, which is stuff we talked about, a lot of guys just rehashing old stuff. But, and Sin says, I wonder how the trade talk is affecting BA. I don't think it affects him much because John Lynch is very straightforward with guys. That's one thing everyone says. John doesn't sugarcoat this stuff. He tells them what's what. So I'm pretty sure John told him, hey, yeah, a team probably called and inquired, and that was it. There aren't any hard offers on the table. It's just casual conversation. And that's what these guys do, especially at the combine. All these GMs, they're around each other in person. Mm-hmm. They'll be like, hey, what's up with Aiyuk? You think he might be available? I give you a 7th for him, stupid stuff like that. And John would be like, no, you got to do more than that. And then it's like, for a guy with an ACL, well, he tore all the CLs, like Sin said, and shout out to Wayne Breezy. He put me on to that one. He tore all the CLs. It was like, why would you do that? And the thing that gets lost in this whole thing is the common sense of it. Like, these stupid rumors get put out that, teams want to trade for him. But where's the common sense in it? I mean, Brandon Aiyuk is coming off a torn knee, let's just say knee, and he's got a big salary attached to him. And David, you just said it, he might not even play this season. Why would any team trade for that? Especially when you got the draft coming up and there's players who are healthier, bigger, faster, and younger than Brandon Aiyuk. Oh, and they're also cheaper because they'll be on a rookie deal. That's
the big key there is cheaper.
There'll be a whole lot cheaper because they're on a rookie deal. So why would you go out and trade for a guy who's damaged and you can just draft someone? It makes no sense. And people just their common sense leaves them when they fall victim to these rumors and such.
Yes, I see common sense leave the chat all the time, buddy. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah. You get this report, everyone's like, what's this? Look at who's reporting it. That's not the real Adam Schefter.
Yeah. Or right. It'd be Schefter, his name is spelled different or something. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they just see the freaking Twitter badge verified, which they pay for. And they fall for it. But my personal favorite is when it's a radio guy from the state of Texas who's talking about Brandon Aiyuk being traded to Pittsburgh. And it's like, dude, you're in Texas covering, the freaking Longhorns basketball team. What do you know about what's happening with the 49ers and the Steelers? Where did you come from? That's the one I like. That makes me laugh all the time. But that's the off season. That's the game that's played. People want to make a name for themselves.
That's exactly it too.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is actually Brandon Aiyuk's first year of his extension too.
Mm-hmm.
Might not play, and then we got him for 3 more seasons.
Yep.
So we'll see what ends up happening. You know. But but we ain't seeing news about him getting traded today, and tomorrow the bill hits the mail.
He'll get paid. Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's just not happening, and it's not like Brandon Aiyuk shouldn't be mad because it's not like the Niners are actively shopping him. They just took phone calls.
Yeah, and that's the key to it. And I always ask that question: who made the call? Did the 49ers make the call, or were there other teams? Huge difference, right?
There is a huge difference.
Huge difference. And a lot of these calls, like I said, they're fillers. Hey, is this guy available? Okay, just asking.
I did see Aiyuk make like an Instagram post that maybe it's the old guy in me. I couldn't make it make sense.
This post never makes sense.
Either way, it was like, but that's the only thing I think I've seen him actually take about any sort of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, it's almost like him saying, "Stop it."
Yeah.
That's kind of how I took it, but I don't know.
Yeah. John Lynch did say they love Brandon. They loved it when they drafted him. They love him now and can't wait to move on with him. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they're going to pay that bill and they're moving on with him. It is what it is, right? You made the commitment. You're stuck with the contract, stuck with the player. You do it. Can't see anybody having trade anxiety. At the 11th hour, going, I need Brandon Aiyuk. Let me call John Lynch and offer him a second and a third. Like,
at 11:59 tonight, we'll get a notification.
Yeah.
And some fake news that Brandon Aiyuk got traded.
You can see it happening and people losing their minds. And it's like from Madam Schefter will be the account name. Madam Schefter. Oh my gosh. John Lynch also talked about the O-line, and he says, we like our right tackle, we like our center, left guard. At left guard, we have some candidates in-house right now, but we'll look to add in the draft, certainly.
Well, now, when you say center, which one are you talking about here, John Lynch? Because there's a lot of people not liking the guy that started last year.
Yeah. See, he just said he didn't name names. He just named positions.
That's exactly
it. Exactly. So you gotta. John Lynch is very good at the media speak and how to say things without saying things, as you mentioned, right? Like, hey, we like our right tackle, we like our center. That center could be Drake Nugent for all we know.
Yeah, or Matthew Hennessy.
Matt Hennessy, exactly. Could be a number of players.
We got 3 on the roster.
Yep.
Maybe
exactly.
More. Just Nick Zakel if you include him.
Exactly. We got 3 and maybe a 4th. So, hey, we John's good at playing the game, and you got to just smile when he says this stuff, and people just jump all over it. But you got to take a sit back and think, like, all right, I see where he's going with this. There's going to be some competition, and they'll probably draft one as well and add that person to the competition mix and see what goes on.
I would absolutely love to see an open competition for this stuff. Well, you're already going to have that for the left guard, so why not just open up the center and
see what interior combination works well. Like it won't hurt.
It won't. Our offensive line was technically middle of the pack. But middle of the pack last year, and so I'm looking at like it could get worse, but it definitely could get better.
Oh yeah,
it could go both ways here
for sure, right?
Yeah. I would like to see us have a top 10-ish, offensive line, just heading the right direction there.
Yeah.
Our defensive line has got a lot of holes though, so.
We got holes.
This draft, the interior actually has quite a few defensive tackles that I think would get playing time with us. Well,
they'll have to, but
yeah.
But the key to the defense. This is why I don't worry about the D line. Is Robert Saleh is in place. Remember, we go back to 2017 when he first came and first installed the wide 9. he had the D-line rocking. Like toward the end of the season, they were really rocking and getting after it and catching hold to his teaching. And that D-line was very young. You had a young Eric Armstead. I think he was in his third season at the time. DeForest Buckner was only in his second season. I forget. I think Tank Carradine, he was in his like fourth or fifth season at the time. But remember, he had the knee issue. He hardly played. Like It was very young, and he had the defense rocking. So with him being able to teach that defense and the knowledge he has now, I think he'll get them up to speed quickly and at least keep it simple to where they're in the right position to help others make plays, right? Just keep it simple at first and then add on later.
Yeah.
So that gives me hope that, all right, the defense, especially the line, Saleh loves the front seven. They'll catch on quick. And you still got a Bosa out there. You still got Fred Warner out there, right? On that front seven to help lead the way. So that helps.
It really does. We still have Yetur Gross-Matos and Sam O.
And Sam O. And those guys flashed last season.
They did.
So imagine with some better coaching behind them.
Like, what did he do? He played half the season and he had 4.5 sacks.
Yeah.
So that is actually a good showing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's three. I mean, we both know Drake Jackson's issue
his knee is not looking good.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. And then the interior, we got rid of Malik Collins, we got rid of Hargrave, and I actually I didn't think Malik Collins was terrible. Maybe at run defense, but pass rushing.
He played well.
Good,
he played well to me. He was okay in the run too, especially when Big Evan Anderson got next to him.
Yep,
that played dividends for him.
Evan Anderson. That's like a lot of people are like, we need a DJ Jones type of guy. Well, guess what? We have a bigger DJ Jones. His name is Evan Anderson.
Yeah, undrafted Evan Anderson who showed up. He made plays, and like I said, going back to Robert Saleh, imagine now him teaching Evan Anderson how to just lock in on the inside and know your keys and build him up. That's going to serve us well. And if we get someone next to him, high motor, high energy, that can play as well, we could be on to something. That takes care of the interior. So I got high hope.
We do still have we re-signed Kevin Givens, who before the injury was having a hell of a season.
Yep, yes, indeed. That's true. He was playing well.
And we do still have Kalia Davis. And I think they re-signed a couple of practice squad guys. But beyond that, it's like, we're definitely – I could see us taking a defensive tackle and an edge at some point.
Yeah.
Just to get some fresh young bodies in there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But we are still thin. Like, we normally have like 10, 11 guys on the D-line, like on the roster.
Yeah.
So like going into camp, we'll be thin because we normally have like 15. So we do need some bodies in there. But I think we got a good foundation. We just need to build onto that. I hope they start to produce. So
yes, I have to agree with that. But other than that, what you got going on the rest of the week? You got East Coast Red and Gold, don't you?
East Coast Red and Gold. Good old Jess is in the house. East Coast Red and Gold, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Come join us. It's always a good time with Awesome Foursome. Get together and just chat it up. What you got going on this week, buddy?
Well, Corey Davis 49er Wednesday. Well, we'll be talking about topics like who starts the rumors. That's definitely a topic that we're going to be pretty big on here. But it's at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday, folks. I was up to 198, Ty. I was.
Oh, Yeah.
And then I'm back down to 197.
Wait,
so
I know you
think
just
someone's
said was.
playing a
What the
joke
heck?
on me.
Oh my
I
God.
think
Somebody's
someone's
jumping in
messing
and out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cruel people. Cruel.
But of course, the Saturday night mock draft series. That's
Mm-hmm.
it's going to have 4 more shows than last year because I started early because we weren't in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to change it up every week, folks. Just gonna have to tune in to see what we're doing.
Yeah. That's right. Tune in, folks. It's entertaining stuff. And make sure you like and subscribe to both channels. Subscribe to David's channel. Get them likes up. He wants to break the 200 threshold. And you can do it. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
I was stuck at 194 for like 2 months, I think.
Night. Way to go. I know. We talked about it. You were like, I'm still at 194. Like, gee, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. You're going to get a surge during the draft. That's your money time.
You never know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I still haven't figured out what I'm doing draft coverage, buddy. Like,
shoots in. What you got? Yeah, you'll figure it out and let the people know. They'll chime in.
It's gonna be it. I mean, more than likely, me, Levi, if Levi's down, like Kenny's doing something with his guys for the first day.
Okay.
So, the third day gets mighty brutal, though, Ty. Last year, it was over 7 hours.
It's a long day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long day. That's why. Yeah.
So we'll just, we'll make plans with the crew and we'll see what happens. You're invited to pop in, like if you just want to pop in for a minute or whatever,
right?
Or stay for a while. You're always invited.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sin says, how do you think all these financial constraints are affecting Coach Shanahan? Do you think it will make him want to leave the 49ers? Okay, I'll start. So my take on the financial thing is we're not being cheap. We are going to spend money. Like Fred's going to get an extension. Kittle's going to get an extension. Purdy's going to get an extension. We're still spending money. I think we want to do it in a much wiser way now. And what I mean by that is we've gone out and spent money like on older free agents that hasn't worked out. And we still end up paying them. Like a Javon Hargrave, right? Give him a bunch of money. He's an older guy. Winds up getting injured again. Second season, misses the entire season. We decide to move on for him, and he's still on the books, right? Yep. Devondre Campbell, we go out and give him $10 million. He goes out and quits on us, and he wasn't playing well anyway. Like, why? Why did we do that? And this dates back to I remember when Emmanuel Mosley got hurt and we went out and signed freaking Josh Norman, gave him like $10 million. And he was so bad, he wound up getting demoted all the way down to special teams. Like, why are we wasting this money? It's not smart spending. And now we're on the books, like we're still paying guys who aren't even here. That hurts. Imagine you having a business and you're writing a check to someone who's not even around, an employee who you fired like a year ago, and you're still writing a check to them. That hurts. I know that would hurt me. I'm sure it hurts Jed, and he's writing $1 million checks, right? Not that he can't afford it. He got a lot of money, but still, it still hurts. So I think they just want to be smarter about their spending and say, hey, instead of going out and signing this old linebacker who got demoted to third string on his former team, you got this young, hungry guy sitting right there that you drafted. Use him, right?
Yes.
Let's play these younger guys and the guys like the Kittles and the Fred Warners who have real value on the team. Let's pay them instead. And let's not restructure these contracts where we kick them down the road And then when they get old, we still have to pay them. Things like that.
I honestly think the general plan was put in place last offseason.
Yeah, and it started off. I agree with that. Yes.
And because look at who they drafted. Look at who we drafted the last year.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Talk about it. That was key.
So the plan was in place, last offseason without all the details though, because they didn't know. I mean, maybe they did know that they were going to be moving off of Debo, but guys like Hargrave, Malik Collins, we traded for him that was like, we traded for him last offseason, wasn't it?
Yes.
But the plan was put in place last offseason to let all these guys walk. Maybe without all the details, they didn't know that they were going to be letting go of Hargrave and Malik Collins and Leonard Floyd. Maybe they didn't know that they were going to decide to do that. But the general plan was in place.
Well,
Shanahan knew it was coming.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off that real quick, when we signed all these guys last season, remember, they were only signed to like 1 and 2 year deals.
That's right.
So they were going to be short term either way. Right? That's the way it was. They were going to be short term. So the plan was there. So people shouldn't be surprised. And like when we drafted Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing, 2 guys who have speed and are good route runners and excel in the passing game, you knew the plan was, okay, we're going to move on from one of our receivers here. Whether it be Debo or Aiyuk, somebody's getting moved on from. And remember, at the time, we were still having contract negotiations with Aiyuk on his extension.
That's right.
So the plan was there. It was just a matter of how is it going to shape out? Are we going to trade Aiyuk now because he's acting like a fool and doesn't want to sign his contract? Or, are we going to sign him and eventually move on from Debo? The plan was there. We just didn't know.
That's right.
BC in the house.
BC Hello, good was cracking, buddy.
Yeah.
But honestly, the plan's been in place. Shanahan's part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, all these folks that want to fire him, he's not going anywhere.
No.
He'd disappoint you. No. He's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like John Lynch said this offseason, it's time to get younger.
Yeah.
Right? We're sick of being 27. We want to be 26.
That's right. We want to be 26. That's what the real value is. Let me tell you. We want to get down to like 26.2. Right? We're at 27.4. We want to bring it down to like 26.2. Now we're really cooking. What's Brian say? Moving truck is outside Levi's and nobody knows who is moving or staying put. At this point, no. So you never know. But hey, David, this has been a good one. I want to thank everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the questions, especially the Sin. You were rocking. Make sure you like and subscribe to David's channel. He definitely deserves it. Make sure you like and subscribe to me. Everybody.
That's right.
Have a great night and stay faithful. David, can you take us home?
Hey, as Corey Davis says, go 49ers and F all 31 other teams.
Darn tootin'. See ya.